Hey, welcome to Project Time with Preston. Today's project is a little different from some of the others. My project is to clear the snow off the driveway. And I have a brand new Ego 2-stage electric snowblower. I've used a gas snowblower in the past, and this is brand new, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it really does as well as a gas snowblower. This uses a pair of 56-volt batteries. These batteries, they're rated at 7.5 amp hours, and they're 56 volts, so if you do the math, that is 420 watt hours, which is the actual amount of power if you're comparing to other batteries. And there's a newer, when I went to register this for the warranty, they had a different part number for the exact same snowblower with 10 amp hour batteries instead of 7.5. But I never saw that for sale, so apparently they are upping the battery capacity in newer ones. Though I just heard they're about to release a lawnmower with 12 amp hour batteries. The larger amp hour batteries simply means you can run the snowblower longer before you have to recharge them. So anyway, I'm going to try this out and see how well it clears the driveway, and then I'll report back. Press the power. How does this start? Power's on. Drive. Yeah, the drive works. The auger. Let's see, direction. Ooh, I can turn that really easily. That works great. And raise and lower the angle of the chute. That's nice. So apparently it's press the power button and it immediately comes out. Well, that started to go great. I have had 2 gas snowblowers. The first one was great and would cut through anything. Eventually died because I got something wedged in the rotors, and in the process of cutting it out, I tipped it up and didn't realize that the oil had run out, and then the motor was destroyed. The second one was horrible, completely unreliable. It was a Craftsman, which at the time was essentially the Sears generic brand, and I was so glad to be rid of it. This worked really well. It was cutting through the snow just like a gas blower. Barely even had to slow down when I got to the end of the driveway where the snow plow had packed in a bunch of snow. Had to slow down a little bit right next to the garage and was trying to figure out what was going on. And then I remembered the solar panels had avalanched snow down there, and so it was packed really thick. And it still cut through that just fine, just had to slow down a little bit. Went alongside the curb to give the road a nice look out in front of our house, and something went wrong. I thought I was having trouble with the slush, but then I came and looked at it, and this side was not spinning. And if you look closely, you can see there's something wedged in right here and back here. Those are pieces of granite from the curb that apparently a snowplow broke off the curb and then it wedged in. You can also see with the second um, stage here that throws it out the chute, there's this plastic piece in front of it, and it is shredded. I'm not sure what this is, but it is totally shredded. So that's not a good sign either. And these are wedged in really tight. I don't know how I'm going to get them out, and I don't know if something is then broken. Actually, yes, I can see there's a shear pin here on the rod, which is totally sheared off as it's supposed to. So the shear pin gave way. I'll need to get these out and then replace the shear pin, and then I need to look at what's going on with this plastic piece here before I start up again. But this is clearly not doing anything. I think it's supposed to keep snow off the middle of this. I don't know. I'll have to look. Anyway, it worked great, and then it broke, and now I gotta fix it. So that's where we are right now. I managed to hammer out the rock and then the piece in the back, which turned out to be a piece of wood. So the wood in the back, I ended up using a hammer with a very long straight edge screwdriver as a chisel and just split it in part, and it came right out. And I just tapped the side of the curb piece here until it came out. Now, one thing I will note, it's very easy to tip this snowblower back to work on it. It'd be a real pain to do this with a gas blower. It'd be heavy and you'd worry about stuff leaking out. But this is easy. And this now spins freely until you can see somewhere along here is going to be the hole. Yeah, there's the hole for the shear pin. There's a spare pair of shear pins here. So I will install this to replace the one that broke off. I think I'm going to have to remove this piece of plastic here. I can't tell what it was for. It's possible this was just supposed to be packaging and was... Oh! I know what this is. This isn't even a part of the snowblower. This is something that got sucked up. Before the snow, I remember seeing this is a cover for like a hedge trimmer or something that was littered in the street, and I forgot about it, and it got sucked up. So that's not damaged either. So hopefully replace the shear pin, pull out that piece of junk, and we're all good. All right, here's this piece. It just pulled right out, and you can see this isn't even part of the snowblower. It was just wedged in there. And now, it should all be good and ready to throw snow again as soon as I put this on, which has a Torx head. So I need to make sure I have a Torx screwdriver so I can undo this. I can't, it's too tight to undo it by hand, so I need to get the right tools. I found a matching ratchet for the screw, the nut end, and a Torx that will fit the bolt end. And now I can loosen that and attach it, and we should be good to go. Okay, the new shear pin is perpendicular to the old other shear pin from the other side. So it should be right about here. And it looks like the pin itself is still in there. I have to find a way to get that pin out. Well, I didn't have my cameraman handy, but I took a sheared off screw that I just happened to have lying around, and I held that at the end, and I hammered at the other end and used that with a little bit of finagling to push out the shear pin. Now you can see this shear pin is totally sheared off. In fact, it's sheared off shorter than that length, which makes me wonder, is there another piece in there? No, that seems to be it. So, yeah, it looked longer inside. There may have also been some ice packed in there, but that is out, and now I can put in the new one. Putting in the new one is really easy. Just actually, let me show you this up close first. You can see there are little grooves in this near the top and not too far from the bottom where it's designed to break. That's the weak point. So that when something bad happens, like happened a little bit ago, that is where it breaks, not somewhere critical. I'm gonna have to tap this a little bit. There. It didn't want to go in quite all the way, but it needs to be in the right place so that the shear points are right at the right place. And now I'm just gonna need my tools. Get that torque. So that's how much of my driveway I got done. It worked great after the repair. And I was coming back and the snowblower just stopped and the power light flashed red. So I'm going to recharge the batteries and then I'm going to have a cup of tea because it's tea time, and then finish this corner here, go over this again because I was going a little fast, a little close to, a little wide, so I was pushing out snow on the sides, and then do the sidewalks. But generally this is working really great. Yep, you can see here the batteries are both flashing red. The cover is got enough snow on it you can barely see it, so I probably could have noticed that earlier if I'd charged while I was fixing the shear pin. I wouldn't have ran into this, but I wanted to see how far I could get on one charge. The batteries remove easily. You just pull on this and then it lifts up. And if you're doing something wrong and it doesn't remove easily, stop and don't fight it. Figure out what you're doing and get it to work. The included charger is very easy to use. You just plug it in and then drop the batteries into their slots. It'll flash and you'll see the light eventually work its way up to full green. You hear a little fan going as it cools it and manages the batteries. And we just leave it alone and have a cup of tea. So it's been charging for a while. I walked the dog, I had some tea, I shoveled the snow off the front steps. The lights are still going. They call it arc power. I guess it's because the lights look kind of like the arc reactor on Iron Man's outfit. That's my guess. Anyway, it's not quite done, but I'm going to stop now and see what else I can get done. So, I succeeded in clearing the driveway, and I really like this snowblower. One nice feature of it is that if the batteries are essentially dead and it will no longer move or run the auger, it still runs the LED lights. So if it stops in the middle somewhere, you still have light to get it back. The controls, like any snowblower, take a little getting used to, but I really like them. You can control the angle of the chute from a lever here. You can control the direction. This is purely mechanical, but it's really easy to do. You've got different speeds for the drive, including reverse, different speeds for the auger, and of course you got the drive control and the auger control. It's all pretty simple. Like any snowblower, the bane of its existence is hitting obstacles or getting objects buried in the snow that end up getting stuck in the rotors, and that's why we used a shear pin today. but I'm really happy with it. It even cut through heavy packed snow. I would say yes, this is a perfectly good replacement for a gas-powered snowblower. It's got the power and can do the same job. So I am satisfied and would recommend this snowblower for anybody who wants to stop dealing with gas equipment. So it does the job. Thank you. So how much does it cost to clear my driveway? Well, each battery is 56 volts and 7.5 amp hours, which multiplies out to 420 watt hours, which is the actual amount of power. And counting for charging inefficiencies, call it half a kilowatt hour per battery. So 1 kilowatt hour to charge both. Our electricity here is, 22 to 24 cents a kilowatt hour, which is pretty high on the national scale right now. So I would say it costs about 50 cents to get 2 full charges of both batteries and clear the driveway. So that's not bad at all. This is the model of snowblower I used. We bought it at Lowe's. Ego apparently has an exclusive deal with Lowe's, so you can't usually find better deals elsewhere. There are a few snowblower dealers online who will be selling this as well. I couldn't find a better deal, so I just bought it at list price at Lowe's. One thing to be aware of, it is very heavy. And so you need to have a vehicle that you can load it into and unload it. I ended up tearing the box apart and pulling it out of the vehicle separately from the packaging, which helped because it was really heavy. Pulling out the batteries first made it a bit lighter. But working with it on the ground, now that it's fully assembled, it feels really light. So I remember how heavy it was getting in and out, but moving it around feels a lot lighter than a gas blower. And now I will leave you, and you can sit back and watch the security camera footage of the blowing of the snow, or you can decide you're done. And thank you for joining me.